the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we created the Constitution. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we created our monetary system. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we created the foundations of this government. Over these next 7 years, that the demolition that we're seeing being done, and rightly so that people are scared about, is also astrologically like on time.
Yeah.
The old structures are
They're crumbling
They're
right
crumbling.
before us.
You're not,
Yeah.
You can't continue to repair a house on foundation that's all fucked up.
It's-
You know? Hey tribe, hey, namaste. Welcome to another really dope edition of Growing Through the Traumas. This is a complete spontaneity type of event. That's the word I was looking for. I got a text message from the wonderful Phil. Happy Father's Day, Phil.
What's up?
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Phil.
Thank you.
I made him come on with us, so you can't invite us and not be a part of the show.
Yeah, you can't hide behind the.
And it's
I just wanted to push buttons.
well, you get to
I
do
still
that
am.
too.
I got my buttons here, but
Pushing all
That's how
the buttons, baby.
efficient the podcast doctor is.
And as soon as he mentioned Nora, I was like, "Are you kidding? Of course I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there."
I know, it's such a nice surprise.
It is an amazing surprise. I know. I was so excited to hang out and just vibe. And then Phil says, "I know a guy.
And we got another surprise.
We know a guy.
yeah.
The guy.
That guy is Dr. Steve."
Moreau.
Thank you, Moreau. Y'all know I'm not good with the names.
I feel like your name is going to be a lot more popular once you make the TikTok circulation.
Oh my goodness, let's
You
go.
ready for that?
I'm ready. Let's
Uh-huh.
go.
This is what he wanted to do.
That's literally his purpose here is to put this
People
information
want to know
out.
this
Are you kidding?
information.
So
They're thirsty for it.
Steve,
Yes.
thank you for being on
Thanks
with
for
us
having
today.
me.
Oh no, I'm super hyped. I'm so excited. It's so
too.
great to meet you. Do you
Likewise.
want to tell the collective what it is you're a doctor in?
Sure. Dr. Steve Moreau. I'm an acupuncturist, a TCM doctor, doctor of traditional Chinese medicine, herbalist. That's quote unquote the day job, and I also teach at the acupuncture school here in town. Been doing that since 2011. Time flies, and about 20 some odd years ago, I started studying and been doing Vedic astrology. So that's also my other twin passions. If I wasn't doing acupuncture, I'd be doing astrology. Thankfully, I get to do both.
I would say they kind of coexist in their own spaces. You know what I mean, like together, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were so
100%.
many things. You said herbalist.
Herbalist.
What was the first thing?
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture,
Right.
herbalist.
Astrologer.
Okay.
Astrologer.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like everyone else, their healing journey. I started doing acupuncture at the age of 24. So I'm 53 this year, 54 this year. So I've
What?
been doing it for some
Let's go.
time.
There you go.
Yeah.
For real?
Yes, sir.
I would not have put you in your 50s.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
It's clearly
That's what living that high positive life does for you, okay?
Get some
reversing your
Get some
aging.
acupuncture, y'all.
No, for real. I do.
I got my
I've
card.
never done it, and I'm definitely gonna book with you 100%. 100%.
I've never
So,
done it
yeah.
either.
We need to-
but
you
I'm
wanna
so
do it.
like curious.
No, really,
Go for
it's
it, go for
and the cool part is too, like you understand the different pressure points of our
Yes,
bodies the same way
yes.
you understand the universal pressure points and
Yeah.
how that affects us here on
Yeah.
Earth. So that's really freaking cool. So like I said, it's like 2 in 1. It's all. It's kind of like
Appreciate
the yoga
it.
instructing, the
Okay.
frequency healing. It's like
It
it's
all-
so
yeah.
cool the way our souls are like.
Yeah,
Check,
check.
check. Great. That's awesome. That's awesome. And
Absolutely.
the fact that we all gathered here spontaneously
Spontaneously.
on Father's Day, and it also happens to be the summer solstice.
Can't make
Okay,
it up.
that is insane.
yeah.
And if you don't know what the summer solstice is, it is you don't know. We're gonna educate you then, darling. You
I
got
love
it.
that we kind of have somebody that's like not super in the know with all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
I know nothing. So
One of my
perfect.
I'm a
favorite.
fresh baby here.
Listen, and so sometimes the teacher always a student, right?
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
for sure.
and the fact is, like, one of my favorite things is to be able to open and see somebody go, I knew that all along, because it's in here. It's just it's been suppressed from our truth and our education. It's not part of the Rockefeller's plan to make sure that
It's
we
not
don't
part
know
of
our
those
truth.
textbooks in school that were in the files.
Correct, correct. So
I know just basically what he's been telling me, and that everything he says has just been blowing my mind. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you want to explain the summer solstice?
Solstice. This is the summer stop. Right?
Summer stop.
The summer
Ooh,
stop.
I love that.
So the sun stops twice a year. We are at the longest day of the year.
Wow.
And so from this day forward, winter begins. But it's so tiny, 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 you can't see it.
That's wild to
and
think.
it gets larger and larger, and then we go to the winter solstice. So, but we are at the longest day of the year, the hottest day of the year generally, right? For this hemisphere, and we are at the turning points, right? So this is why it's such a powerful shifting time. Fasting, we're talking about doing those type of and in traditional religions, traditional cultures from around the world, ancient cultures, these were the original holidays. Holidays comes from the word helios, which means the sun. So that's what a holiday is. That's where it comes from.
Nice.
So we
Yeah.
are celebrating
I love
the
that.
original holiday.
Okay.
This is one of the 4 original holidays.
And it's crazy because you had no concept of what summer solstice even was, or not really. You know what I mean? Like, and that's most people until they go down a rabbit hole, and
then,
Which
then-
is interesting that farmers like use it. So
Yes.
it's really not so woo woo as
No,
Not at all.
people think it
100%,
is.
Not at all.
100%.
Not at all.
And
Yeah.
Spirit had gave me that visual of, here it comes. I was shown, because we are in a lot of big shifts, and I know that astrology-wise, you have a lot more information to share to back this up. We are in a major shift with everything that's happening in the world. If you guys don't know Nora, she is a great, beautiful friend, a divine queen, and just such a powerful soul. And she's been pissing a lot of people off, and I love it. I love it. We have found our niche in really irritating men specifically.
Yeah, irritating, terrible, awful.
And when I say men, I'm not talking about the divine masculine. I'm not talking about the kings that know they're kings, because all of you, even you ignorant ones, okay, even you guys are kings. You've been lied to, okay. And we had this conversation earlier. Actually, it was just me, Nora, and Phil about, this is coming up now, about how we irritate the spirits of those racist people. Okay.
the light, when you shine a light on something, it brings all
That
of the
shadow
darkness
is gonna
out.
scream.
Yeah.
100%. Here's the difference, though. You 3 do it naturally by just being who you are and showing up with your melanin.
Naturally irritating.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, very much so.
I have a choice I can make every day. I can blend the fuck in real easy, and I have. That's why I can speak on it so clearly, because I've seen it from all sides. Like, my older sister is amazing. Okay, like, she is just such an intelligent woman. Roll no, sorry sis. She recently discovered that one of our great grandmothers, I'm not exactly sure how far, wasn't too far, was actually sold to my grandfather as a 12-year-old slave. So we come
12
from
years old.
Wow.
12, and she was one of 2 young women sold to him. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts, Stephen. Like, and realizing where I've known that, I speak very openly about my grandfather, my mother's father, was a Baptist preacher who raped all his children. So that level of evil to come from, I've seen it in a whole different way. And I was just thinking about, like, over the years, there's been plenty of souls that look like me, lighter skinned, that wanted to speak up but got bullied into not.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to blend in
Yeah.
than to actually stand up.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
be called trash. And what did that guy say? What did that
don't
guy
know.
say in my inbox? Waste of skin.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a crazy thing to say, honestly. Like, that's a crazy thing to say.
like, oh,
But it is interesting
funny.
because you have chosen, like, to not sink into the beliefs of the people around you, to actually
yeah. I was
educate
raised.
yourself.
I was raised around racism.
Yeah.
I was, but
Yeah.
I was grateful too, because I also was raised in and out of the hood. So I have
Which the hood is the same no matter what color you are at the end of the day.
It is,
Poverty is poverty.
100%. Well, and when you're light skinned, like me, and you have a shaved head and pink bangs, the hood dangerous. I learned how to fight, but I also learned how to not blend in, not change a thing about me, but still show up in love and light, and still break down those barriers, those walls, because I understood even at a very young age why those people around me, my neighbors, felt the way they felt about people
Yeah.
who look like me.
Yeah.
I understood why. I watched the officer get oral from the prostitute that I used to make sandwiches for, abusing his power, and they all look like me. You know what I mean? So I say that to lead into, I'm not exactly sure where that was going, but to lead into the power of making a choice.
Yeah, and you, like
That-
you said, you can be like undercover. You're like a honeypot. Like, I bet you the most awful people probably look at you and they feel like they're comfortable being able to say things
Oh,
or express
yeah.
things that they wouldn't express around us.
And they get triggered when they're like, oh my gosh, you're one of them.
That's why you're an ally.
Hey, that part. So shout out to all the allies. But you speaking up and deciding that other people's opinions, your truth is more important.
Which is really interesting because I kept my posts, they're very neutral. I really was just like, hey, like it was a matter of fact.
Just opening up the conversation.
Yeah, kind of thing. But, you know, the hit dogs will holler kind of thing. So, you know, but hey, it's good to monetize. So.
And unfortunately, and fortunately, that feels heavy. When you see all that hate, it feels very heavy, okay? This is not the time to dive into that fear. This is not the time. It is the time to slow down and care for yourself and be mindful and give yourself extra love. Absolutely. It is not the time to be fearful. Okay, this is all happening for a reason. Simultaneously, two truths exist at all times. Okay, there's yin and yang. As you were explaining the two winter and summer solstice, I got that vision of the yin yang. Two truths exist without a problem. Most humans have a really hard time with that truth. Like they really, and that's why they lean. They gotta have a I'm part of this group, I'm part of that, I don't like that group. They gotta fit in with it. Yeah. Okay.
And it's interesting with that being said, with what you were saying in terms of like where we're at right now and as a society politically and all of that's bringing us to the place that we're at, why people are so emboldened to be so blatantly racist and blatantly hateful. You kind of saw it coming, and it's literally written in the stars.
Literally.
It's you know what's fascinating about this is when you kind of come across it in college. Before I went the route of acupuncture, I actually was Africana Studies, Latin American Caribbean minor, and so I was already on that track. I thought I would end up being a professor, teach, write about all this stuff, and then life happens, and then you got detracted. So I've always been that way. Sorry,
yeah. I said back up, because
exactly. Let's do this again. So it was really interesting. So and then to come at that history, like left brain stuff, and then you get to the astrology, which is like, whoa, it actually brought it more alive, the history from the astrology side, really than from what because it just, well, we're talking about this pattern, right? And so I was like, oh, now I see what's happening. We are literally weeks away from this country's 250th birthday, right? Celebration and all that it entails.
That's very interesting with that. Like, right? Can you guys just briefly explain what astrology is for people who just don't have a single clue?
Okay, let's. I'm sure some part of the audience have heard it. It's not the
horoscopes. It's
horoscopes,
not the
please.
It's
not horoscopes.
That's not what it is.
Is that what it is?
Not.
Oh man,
I've been lied to.
I gotta go.
I'm not Aries.
Guess what? I know it's gonna surprise you, but they've been lying to you.
Oh,
right. It's a lot more than that.
Right.
But that's one slice. So
they wanted to give you just enough to make you be like, this is BS, without giving you the full information that they're really gonna do.
Because it's really quite powerful. It's really quite
so
powerful.
Yes.
And so, long story short, astrology. Wow, that is gonna be really short. Astrology is the science of the stars, and ancient peoples, Mesopotamians, ancient Egyptians, Sumerian, all these all of our ancestors, the Mayans, right? So everyone was star watching, right? One of the things I like to tell people is there's a reason why we reference quote unquote God and goddesses are above, because the planets were the original gods and goddesses, especially in the Vedic tradition, which is the astrology of India. The moon is more important, actually. It's actually a feminine-based lunar system.
We already knew that.
So
we know this.
and so what I've always told people is I actually think that it's, and I don't do anyway patronizing whatever. I actually think it's women that developed, were instrumental in developing astrology, because the first thing that you can track is the moon, and really the only people that really need to and would connect the moon would be women.
Right.
Right? Like literally makes the most sense. Because you only see it at night and it comes every 28 days, or should. And back in the days, it would have been. That's
right. Teaching women, like when I realized that our cycles are 28 days and the moon cycle is 28 days, first of all, that's also how our months are supposed to be. But hey, that's a whole different podcast. Okay. But yes, the moon, the intuitive, that water-based intuitive, that is woman, and realize that, like, to be disconnected from it though.
So cultures had this. Cultures had this understanding, and they started tracking. And you figure over thousands of years of observations, and they started then getting more sophisticated with it. And then realizing, oh, their planets are there during the day as well. And, I'm simplifying, but generally they started developing a system of understanding correlations to world events originally.
Yeah.
Because it's really astrology initially was only done, what we're doing here today was only done for the kings and queens and royalty. That's only people that had access to it, because they're the only ones who could pay the priest class to spend the time to calculate the charts.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And so what we do today, I take it for granted. Trust me, I've done these, try to do this by hand one time just to practice to see.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
I'm like modern day.
Do you
I'm
think
gonna
we still
sit there.
use that though?
Right,
Do you think
right.
like our government has like a astrologer in the
You know what?
in the White House?
I've wondered that. I will tell you that I know for a fact that Indian astrologers do over in
Oh, yeah.
India
Oh, yeah.
and in Saudi Arabia. These cultures are more open to it. Chinese, for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do it here, to be honest with you. I remember over when they had the Republican National Convention in 2025, one of the things I told my friends was, someone must know something, because the Republicans are doing theirs before Mercury retrograde, and the Democrats did it the day Mercury retrograde began.
Ooh.
That is so interesting.
So I was like, I think someone's doing astrology
I
over
tell
there.
you, and honestly, like I thought about this the other day was when who was currently in office, I'm not even gonna say the name, who was currently in office, we're in 2026, y'all can figure it out. When he did his first go round, and he looked so prim and pretty, and I'm not getting paid for this, and he, I mean, really just rose himself up as the one that's coming to save the day kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now he's in there again, which we clocked.
Yes.
We
yes.
knew, How did we know that? You want to explain that?
Well, shall we go to the videotape?
Sure.
Let's look at some astrology. All right, so this is the South Indian chart. It's a square chart, very different from what we see as Western. So
This is Minesweeper.
this is blowing.
There's
Like
a lot
Minesweeper.
Only
going
thing I
on.
want people to focus on is this square here. Ignore all these other things. It's going to cause more
It's interesting
confusion
that they're
to-
all numbers, because so many people are like, "Oh, the Matrix," and like,
yeah, and it does. It's interesting. I often will say that, like, I'll look at that, and I will just tell a story. I can literally talk for 3-4 hours on this.
Wow.
For real.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, and then you translate that into like actual lived experience, and so it is kind of like a matrix
it's
language.
like it's data.
Yeah, it is data, 100%.
And they knew that way back in the
Oh,
day,
yeah.
that these
Wow.
things.
Blew my mind.
So going back here. So this is the chart of this is the chart of the United States. And each of these squares is a constellation. So that's Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus. So that's what each of these squares are. The planets that are in here are the planets in those signs. And, we read this, right? So this is the birth chart of the United States.
Okay.
And the first thing you'll notice that your eye goes to these 4 planets. Okay, so these 4 planets:
Ooh, yeah, look at them all
Mercury,
lined.
Sun, Jupiter, Venus. So that's Leo. That's Cancer.
Yep.
Okay, so we have 4 planets in Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the homeland, the sign of the maternal sign of caring and loving and nurturance, right? Which America has this sense of, we want to take care of the world, right? Like it's, at least the propaganda part of it, right? But what's interesting is this is also the 8th house. And for those in astrology, the 8th house is a house connected to revolution, scandal, the negative emotions, if you will, right? The shadow side.
That dense energy.
Right? And so the United States has its sun in the 8th house. So if a person had their sun in the 8th house, these are people connected to doing shadow work. And so as a nation, right, the way I read that, and I often tell people, is it's really simple. This country that was born from freedom, Sagittarius, right? We want to be free and all these other things that are really quite evident. They want to break free. But the shadow side of that, we are going to own these other people, right? The shadow side. And so we have 4 planets in the shadow side, right? So we talk about, as United States, in terms of official policy and who we look ourselves to be.
Yeah.
But we have a shadow side. We have a deep shadow side.
Yeah.
And we have 4 planets there. Right? And so this is the reoccurring theme of the United States, that we're constantly, the 8th house is also the house of transformation. And so this is why we started as this nation that owned slaves. Civil War, we transformed, freed people, some wise, right? And then,
Oh, right.
And so there's this constant theme of reinvention. And this is actually where we're in right now. We are in one of our periods of reinvention in the United States. And when you see history from this longer period, you realize, we're going to live here, we're fortunate 75, 80 years, 100 years, let's be very, right? But this is 250 years. So I often think, what would those people back then see what we're looking today? You and I, all of us here having this conversation, it would be tripping them out, right? But we are a nation about transformation. We have constantly evolved. And so those that want something to be the same way, well, that's not going to happen. That was never meant to happen.
Correct.
The country started this way, and that was how it was meant to be in terms of starting, but it was not meant to stay there. And we're pulling away from that, and that's a very painful process, and that's where we get into racism. That's where we're getting as we're pulling away, because people are like, wait, we're doing what?
Right. Yeah, change is hard, especially if you fix sign. Change is hard.
So let's just say, so this is the astrology of the United States, where its main theme is always transformation. It's always that America does have that dark side, and as we know, most people don't want to acknowledge the dark side.
Yeah,
that's just right. Like we're all like,
we're all freedom and bold eagles, and
right. Well,
Exactly.
to acknowledge it isn't to look at it and say, wait. What part of this is my guilt?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody, especially
wants to
in
do
this country, want to be guilty
That's
of
true.
anything.
Yeah.
That especially that level. And on that same side, though, I love the internet. I'm so grateful for the internet. This is something that I speak about often. Back in the day, the first motion picture ever made. Y'all know about that time frame?
Yes.
Charlie Chaplin?
I was like,
We wish.
but they were a little bit more.
We wish it was
The
Charlie
first-
Chaplin.
what was
The
it?
first motion picture was simply a train. It was just a train moving, okay? And the responses, I think it was like 1940s, I think that was the time frame. And the responses of the people where they ran, they ducked. Their brain couldn't process a motion picture.
Yeah.
Now we fast forward here, we have internet.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain to a child how Wi-Fi works.
And our brains can't
And then-
process longer than 7 seconds.
And then, okay, that was
Yes,
a nice
yes.
random. All right,
Yes.
right.
We went
That's
from that to like now, like
to the
we're
overload
processing-
and things, all that stuff. Right. I was
So
like,
fast.
wouldn't even have brought that. That's nice. Thank you for adding that in. And the other part of that is understanding energy, like really realizing we are energetic beings. Our heart emanates a field outside of us, and that Western medicine is not quite up to date. We're getting there. But realizing
we need to
that
catch
now, all this time of developing our brains and evolving from motion picture, scary as get me, to, I know how internet works. Like it's simple. You would not be able to explain to somebody back then. They wouldn't have been able to conceptualize that. And I feel like a lot of racists and a lot of people still stuck in that paradigm. They're kind of there. They're kind of the cavemen. I'm not insulting you because I know y'all think you better, and I know anybody on here probably is not racist. But if you happen to feel that way, we don't think we're better than you. It's y'all thinking you better than us and you projecting that stuff. But anywho,
it's a choice to not evolve and to want to hold on, to continue to hold on no matter how much,
and just not even open up. But on a spiritual level side of it is realizing that so many people, especially the children, are coming into Earth as old souls. We're understanding astrology now. We're remembering, we're relearning, we're unlearning the lies and relearning the truths, and we're able to offer up that truth to our children, so they're not being programmed.
I have a stupid question.
Yeah.
No.
Just to see. So you said you're a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine,
Yes.
which is Eastern medicine.
Yes.
What's the main difference between our medicine, Western medicine, and Chinese medicine?
That's a great question. There's nothing stupid about that.
No, nothing stupid about that. It's just pretty deep. It's in the sense that Chinese medicine starts its understanding that our bodies are whole and that we can heal ourselves. Right. So that's basically where self-healing
Doesn't
mechanism.
sound like capitalism, right?
Everything you need to heal is you're whole. You're already perfect. Western medicine is something is broken and needs to be fixed, and very often you need something from the outside. You need a medication. They break it down at the biochemical level, and if we can just tweak this enough, we can get this thing that's not working to work. We can make this enzyme work because it's missing this. What they're missing,
And the separation.
And the separation. That's exactly it.
Instead of treating the body as a whole, they're wow.
Take this pill for this, take
Wow,
that pill for that.
America's really good at separation, y'all.
Yeah.
Holy cow,
Yes,
that
yeah.
just brought that around
It
like
just
crazy.
brought it, and it's
You
all about
know?
separation, at least from their perspective. And Chinese medicine is saying, well, what about the fact that it's emotional stress is causing
Disease.
a level of disease that you're then compensating for, and that's why. So that you're having this. So maybe go meditate, maybe go put your feet on the ground, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, look at that. Your biochemical parameters
All
are
of the
normalized.
things you can do for free.
Oh, by the way, that's the other thing. For free.
That is a very important
free.
key point.
So
And that's what
that's a
we
big
were
part.
talking about a bit last time I was in the studio with you, was exactly that. The chakras, understanding how the chakras work, you know, your main centers there, they'll get clogged up. They'll get clogged up if you don't process that stuff, you don't move through that stuff. And good old America, we are really good at no feelings.
Yeah. Stuff it down.
Stuff it down, swallow
Lock it up,
you be all right.
Put away.
You know, and that will cause that blockages
Yeah.
to build up, and then
That's
has
why I feel
nowhere
like
to
they
go.
lash out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely, it's just
Yeah.
like it's on a cellular level, you know, mentally, physically, everything. It all works together. And there's a great book, How the Body Keeps Keeps the Score.
Body keeps
I can never remember who wrote it, but he was a
Same
doctor
here.
and
I
a
remember.
therapist. Great
Body
book.
keeps
But that's amazing, and I'm seeing more and more. Again, the internet. The internet is exposing us
Yes.
to
Yeah.
the truths of other cultures, so that we're not
Correct.
being forced to just know what Fox News and
Yeah.
seeing it.
People are asking more questions.
Right, we're actually able to talk to people, actual real people, real time, and say, okay, you know, I want your perspective and things of that nature, and see how they're living. Because I have my sister, shout out Janet. I know you'll see this at some point. She's over in Ireland. Katie's in New Zealand. Those are my girls. I talk to them on a regular basis. They're huge, powerful spiritual beings. One's a psychologist, huge Akashic Records type thing. And over there, we look ridiculous. Like, y'all are
Yeah,
still
I'm
fighting
sure.
racism.
Yes.
I'm
Wait
sure.
a second, racism is still a thing? Like, why is that a thing for you guys? You know?
Do you know what's been so fascinating is the World Cup in town,
Yes.
watching
Yes.
the people from other countries coming to America and the culture shock that they're getting in a Walmart. Like, it's like an amusement park to them. They are at a museum. They're just baffled, and it's very interesting to see the dramatic difference. Like,
I saw something really cool. A friend of mine sent me the other day, and I thought, apparently people are obsessed about ranch dressing.
Yeah.
And they're taking ranch dressing so much that they're like having to tell them, like, no, you can't take this on a plane back with you. Or,
Oh my
have you had
gosh.
it?
Ranch
Have you
dressing
had
is a
ranch
thing.
dressing?
I mean, ranch dressing is great. I just was surprised that it was a thing that foreigners
That
were
people are
absolutely.
trying to
don't
take
have-
home.
they don't have
what are
enough-
they putting
Well,
in
It
well,
makes
it?
me not want to eat it.
So
I
I
know,
know,
like,
I know
what's
a little
in
bit,
it?
Okay,
as
go
a
for it,
former
ranch
fat guy. I know a little bit about ranch dressing. This is something that I can elaborate on. Okay,
let's go.
finally. I've been quiet this whole show. All right. So ranch dressing across the pond is called American dressing.
Really?
That's hilarious.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
For real? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
We've
so
been
it-
reduced to ranch dressing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so sad.
The only reason why it's called like ranch dressing here to make it not sound as unhealthy.
Interesting.
Hey, well,
Yeah, that really makes
It's
me not
probably
want
the
to eat
most
ranch. It's
unhealthiest
What do you
dressing.
think
Very
is in
lightweight.
it that makes people so damn addicted
Oh,
to
it's
it?
just it's honestly it's just sour cream, dill,
you got a
and some
recipe.
seasons.
You
Yeah.
got a recipe over here.
I know. Listen, Phil's back is
Like,
like,
what are they putting
Okay.
in it?
well, and that,
Man,
that's the crazy. Oh, my foot done fell asleep. That's the crazy part, though, is like when you think about that and think like, wow, you guys are trying to take it back with you. Like,
Right,
I had a friend
that-
from Sweden once that was like, I know why you guys are all so fat and unhealthy. Like, she was just real with it. She's
She's
like,
not wrong.
we still
Not
churn our
wrong.
butter.
Yes.
They still
Wow.
churn their butter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Real butter.
again,
Real butter.
that is real. And if you look back at astrology, you will see the time that they started messing up our soil. You will see the time that they started putting processes, like over processing our food, you know, to preserve it. It was bigger than just making sure families are fed, okay? Because you get enough gunk, you're gonna gunk up your chakras, your pineal gland, the fluoride in our freaking toothpaste.
Yeah,
and
keeping
things
people
alone.
slow and passive.
Absolutely.
Wait, are you trying to say this is all an elaborate scheme?
And no, it's
Something like
wild
that.
to
Something
think
like
about.
that. I mean, it could be. Think about it.
Or a very, very big coincidence.
Right.
That we have a
And I
cereal
was trying to
aisle.
remember
That exists.
There's the
Coincidences
guys,
don't
some
exist.
guy from Germany or from I don't know wherever, but he was freaking out about our cereal aisle. And he's like,
Oh,
"How
yeah.
is there so much of it? And there's the boxes are so large, and there's so many chemicals and dyes that are banned from their country. Obviously, it's making us incredibly sick.
Yes.
And then our healthcare, we're what one of the only countries that don't have universal healthcare. So
So since you're a doctor of traditional medicine, did you like regular doctors looked at you funny?
Oh, absolutely.
They don't like you.
Yeah, it's you know, it thankfully it is changing. You know, so you know, from when I got started back in the mid '90s, you know, acupuncture was not even being covered by insurance and things like this. As of now, you know, the VA actually covers
that's
acupuncture.
cool. That's amazing.
A big part of my practice is VA vets.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So the government, and it's interesting because it got started under, if I remember correctly, under the Obama administration because of the opioid epidemic. And so
Obama.
the VA was pulling the medication because they noticed that they were causing this problem. And so so when they pulled the medication out, they were like, well, we need to give them something. So it wasn't like they came to acupuncture and was like, oh, this works. We trust it. Let's do this. They were like, we have nothing to do. What can we do?
Yeah.
And somehow acupuncture does work with opium addictions and addictions in general and pain. And so we got in there, and people are like, oh, wow, this stuff works.
It's interesting that it clearly does work. And like you were saying, how in the days it used to be the kings and the queens that had access to this. Now, like the very wealthy,
people. Yeah,
they are obsessed with that kind of stuff. They swear by it. So clearly there's something to it.
There is. So that's, the world is changing to where the common person, us folks, we can have access to this information. And as you mentioned before, the astrology is popping off. I mean, for me, it's just amazing to see how much you can learn astrology. And what's even more amazing is that traditional astrology is coming back, right? So Indian astrology has been the same for like, whatever, a couple thousand years. Western kind of shifted, and now you're kind of getting the old tradition of Western astrology coming back as well. So you're seeing people kind of like, okay, let's understand the roots of this. And what they're finding is that it's very similar to Indian astrology back in it, right? So there's this continuity of, at one point, this was all the same around the world, and it just kind of got chopped up. Without the internet. Right? Think about that. Right? Think about that.
Well, I'm convinced it was the rise of like modern medicine and
yes.
When I wonder, does it line up with like colonialism and all of that?
Oh, listen, yeah, absolutely.
Because that lines up with the Salem witch trials and different things like that, where they just started getting rid of natural
stuff
medicine.
That didn't work. Yeah,
you can't control people who know that they are capable of
healing
themselves and providing for themselves, and
you don't have to go to the hospital for every little thing,
right? Or the grocery store for every little thing.
You brought up the Rockefellers, which is exactly it. So it's not a surprise that we had oil, the discovery of oil, petrochemicals. That's what pharmaceuticals are coming from. Petrochemicals. That's their byproducts, right? That's one of the things that's made out of. And then to control all of that, the Rockefellers then realized, oh well, we need to control the education, right? Homeopathy, which is a natural medicine, used to be the predominant medicine in this country.
Wow.
And
when did that change?
Rockefellers, 1900s.
1900s.
When the
Okay.
textbooks start getting written.
Yeah.
Wow.
They wanted to control everything, and so they wanted to standardize.
Yeah.
And that's when we started having standardized medicine, standardized, you have to be an MD, and only MDs can prescribe. And that became kind of the channel. So you had this diversity of medical practices that then got funneled through the Rockefellers and
Wow.
such. And literally it's going on 100 years.
Yeah, and see, that's the women they burnt, the witches they burnt,
Yeah.
the herbalists, the knowing,
So it was just like a group of dudes that got together and they were like, you know what, this is what we're going to do. And they had somebody with the money to back them and decided to make this choice to
it's
determine
all about
what
money.
modern
It
medicine
was
is.
all about money because they had the oil, and then from oil, so you can only do so much with this, right? But then now from the side products, right? Okay, perfect example. So the Iranian situation that's going on right now, the problem that this is a real problem is because it's not just the oil. Do you know what else you get from oil byproducts? Fertilizer.
Yeah.
You need fertilizer for, growing food. Right?
which is crazy because check this out. If you just let the animals migrate the way they are meant to freaking
Right. Oh my
migrate,
goodness.
They would do
keeping
all of
the
that.
soil healthy. Let Mother Earth do what Mother Earth
Yes.
does.
But we need data centers.
Of course. Sorry. We need those.
And now all these places are having droughts and the local government is stepping in and asking people to ration water.
Right. Because they want that.
I need my AI images.
I'm not gonna sit
my
here and say it's
business
not.
thrives
Cool.
on that.
I'm not-
It's
sorry.
cool. No, you're good. It's cool, and I love. But how dumbed down are we going to become?
Right.
That is the level of what they're trying to make us reach.
That's a great question with astrology. What would you say astrology shows us for the next
Go to
chapter of our lives?
Let's
Like,
go to the videotape. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go to the
that's
videotape.
what the people want to know.
Let's
They
go
want to
the
know
videotape.
what's next.
what's to
All right.
come.
So,
Yes.
this is the chart of the United States. Again, just focus on the thing here. This is the chart of the United States. Let's go to today, right? So this is where the planets are today, currently, right? So currently you are seeing Pluto in Aquarius. This is what's happening. This is why one of the reasons that things are so shifting right now. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius was back in 1776. So when the country was found,
Do you know what something else they're saying happened back then?
Yes.
Or maybe it's
go ahead.
the Super El Nino. Was that back then, or was it maybe later?
I don't know. I've been hearing this, but I've not tracked.
So I
to
feel
kind
like
of
there's these like mega things that were taking place back then that
it's
are coming back around.
again. Yeah, and
Well,
no,
not
to your
good
point, that's
things.
exactly it.
Because
What's the
our planet responds also to the energies of the cosmos
It's-
as well, and the energies of us.
Yeah.
It's
the energies
shifting.
of us.
It's shifting, and this is the shift. This is the shift that we're having. We are moving back to Pluto in Aquarius. By the way, the last time Pluto in Aquarius, you know what also happened? French Revolution.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Right. So the sign of Aquarius is a sign of the dispossessed. It's a sound of the downtrodden. It's a sound of the people that have been denied and such. It's opposite the sign of Leo, which is Leo is the people in authority. And so Pluto is opposing those things. And so that's why you're seeing the billionaire class, which would be Leo, right, is being opposed by what we're trying to do. And so what's happening is by the way, it went in there like a couple years ago. So it's going to be there until about 2040, thereabouts. So over these next 20 years in this country, we are going to see a absolute revolution.
We are.
And so as a counterbalance to the data centers and like all this stuff that's happening, it's just that you're going to start seeing this summer the uprising of it. Like it's beginning, but it's actually going to, the pushback. And every summer between now and 2035, it's just going to build and build and build. And
Do I need to buy more guns?
Yeah.
well, so I try not to go there with that in that sense, but not
Give me a reason.
It doesn't necessarily. Give me a reason. Let me go get some.
You ain't
Let me
got some.
right? So I mean, at the same time, still trying to be. Listen, I'm a realist astrologer, acupuncturist too, but where yes, things might get to that, but not necessarily. But the pushback is coming, and the pushback is going to come from people. It's like, yeah, no, not in my backyard.
Yeah.
We have the choice where I think that yes, there'll be some element of that, but we have not fully risen up, and that's what's coming.
Right.
That's what's coming. The rise up to oppose the same way
So
that
over the
church was
next
that.
10 years.
Yes.
We are the generation
Yes.
of
Yeah.
curse breakers. We are
Yes.
the generation of understanding our
Absolutely.
emotions. We are the generation of being able to understand how these
And
things
look
work.
at our children. Our children
Correct.
are over it.
You know what I mean?
They're
Now,
so over
They
it.
know nothing about it.
I
They're
know.
like, oh, why are we doing this
You know,
for?
Yes.
right. My children are young adults at this point. She's got some young adult children too, and they and my kids are very much so like they don't want to be here. They don't want
Yeah.
to be in this world. And I hate that for them. But I'm like, it's okay because we started it.
And they're
Y'all
going
gonna
to.
keep it moving. It's
Exactly.
okay. And listen, we're not our ancestors.
No.
I'll speak for myself. I'm about that life. I'm about that life. Step to me or mine. It ain't gonna be a problem because you ain't gonna exist no more, and that's not a threat. It's a promise. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. We are an intelligent group. We have intelligence. We have heart. You know what I mean? At the same time, I'm a boxer.
Yeah.
You
If-
protect
if it
yourselves
needs
at
to
all
happen.
times.
And then it's like
You
we
know what
need
I
to
mean?
know, like, how much do we need to prepare? Do we need to start prepping?
I would-
You know?
We
I-
need to be.
yes.
This
Go
is
ahead. No,
what we
please go
need
for
to
it.
be
Please,
doing.
please.
And then I'm going to read this card because just wanted to be pulled. We need to be taking our money out of the corporation
Yeah.
hands.
I've been hearing that a lot.
We need to be doing that. We need to be buying land together.
Yes.
We need to be
Yes.
coming into communion. Like actually,
Absolutely.
the Amish had it right.
Correct.
Yeah.
They were the only ones not to
That's
get
why they
brainwashed.
were
stopped.
the
That's why they never
resistance.
integrated back then. They were
You know
like,
what I'm
nah, we're
saying?
good.
Right.
They're the original resistance.
Right, and good on them that they had that opportunity to be able to do that because it didn't happen for the Native Americans. It didn't happen for
Yeah.
any of our melanated brothers and sisters. It didn't happen for those tribes. You know what I mean? That's why slavery was enforced. You know, because I don't care what you think you know. Y'all are we're all powerful, but our melanated kings and queens have such a connection to the cosmos and the earth that is unmatched.
Sure.
And
Sure.
women specifically, we should be running shit.
I'm okay.
100%.
be
It's
a
time.
matriarch.
Like,
But
it's.
we naturally
we are definitely
come
moving to that.
into.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you
We're coming
see
to that.
that we're moving towards that?
100%. We are
Absolutely.
in our feminine rising right now.
We are
100%.
absolutely, and we're coming to that. It's a balancing, but it's a balancing because it's been obviously so out of balance
Yeah.
with the patriarch, right? It's just like the women are just coming to where they need to be.
Right,
Right. So it seems for those who are threatened by it, like, oh, they're overtaking us. No, they're just coming up to where they need to be. And then it allows the men to kind of fall into their proper role as well. Right.
Right.
So it's that yin and yang. But absolutely, and I've always said this all the time, women running stuff, I'm good with that.
This seems like everything has been such an intricate plan in place and all these systems are meant to either oppress or prevent an uprising. Do you think our country can honestly pull that off when we can't even paint a pool?
Who can't paint?
I mean,
paint a pool.
Paint a pool.
You're talking about the white. Okay, I got you. I was so confused.
That's
You
what
can't
we
read
do
stuff. I'm like,
We can't even
that's
prevent
just
a country
money laundering.
from, you know what I'm saying? Like I love everything you're saying,
And that right
I
there,
believe
no, I'm
everything
glad you
you're
said
saying.
that, because the truth of it is that's why people go to extremes.
Yeah.
It's a tug of war. So when you have people oppressed so long and you start to, when you're playing tug of war with the people, you won't pull, you won't make sure that you get on that side. That's why feminist has been a thing. And it's a problem why a lot of men are triggered by women who are powerful and strong and outspoken, is because they associate that with that feminist and man hating. I'm not a man hater. I'll never be a man hater. We need our men. Y'all are important. We appreciate you. You know what I mean? There is a duality. Feminine and masculine work together. Feminine and masculine within self. Feminine and masculine without. Okay?
And I feel like the man hater thing, that's a strong term, because in a way I would never call myself a man hater, but I would say from a specific type of man, I've been accused of that before. And in my opinion, if you're a good man that means well to the world and to women, you're never going to be concerned about being
Amen.
hated by a woman.
100%.
The shoe don't fit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Not even something you think about.
Right, because we again, the masculines, you do have a role. You are leaders in your own rights of that way. And when we say women need to be taking over stuff, it's not in that leadership ego space. It's in the fact that we are naturally set up to communion.
Yes, the matriarch is a circle, a spiral, whereas the patriarch is a pyramid.
Absolutely.
It's very different.
Very
It's time for the spiral.
Very different.
Absolutely,
Very
absolutely.
different.
And when the masculines work with the feminine and realize we are the intuition, and if back in the day the kings had the priestess or the priest to come and say, hey, what's coming, what are your dreams telling you, what are you picking up on? And again, we have to come into that knowledge within ourselves and heal ourselves and overcome all this stuff, because it has been systematically set up. Because the more survival, the longer you're in survival mode, the less you're going to look and say, okay, what else do I need to work on? You're just trying to survive.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, so it's important to keep the ants in survival mode, because then the grasshoppers are going to keep playing their role. Listen, Hollywood been helping us out with the truth for a long
divide and
time.
conquer for some time. It's been that way for so long. And to your point about keeping us in that stressed out mode where all you're thinking is like day to day. So to get back to what you're saying, listen, I'll be very honest with you. I've been telling my friends, and this is actually going out publicly now. Like, I could just come out with all this stuff. Some of the stuff I talk about, this country over these next 7 years, and I'm being quite honest with you. There's several options. One option is that we break up, like we separate, like we actually like, okay, we're this country, we're that country. That is a strong possibility, right? Like without a doubt. Absolutely, I think that's a strong possibility. Like if I rate that possibility, like the other possibility that goes similar to that is that we can look so radically different in terms of how our government looks like. Getting back to this Pluto thing, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we created the Constitution. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we created our monetary system. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we created the foundations of this government. Over these next 7 years, that the demolition that we're seeing being done, and rightly so, that people are scared about, is also astrologically like on time. Yeah. The old structures they're
crumbling.
They're crumbling.
Before us.
You're not, you can't continue to repair a house on foundation that's all flooded up. You can't do that.
We're starting all over again.
Right.
We're starting. So these next 7 years, part of this is embracing the fact that this shit is not going to be the way it's going to be. And it's very scary. Yeah. And yes, there's a lot of pushback from those that want to maintain what this country was originally and, make it great again with certain things and all this other stuff. But what they don't seem to understand is that their time is up.
Oh, it's up.
It's up. Yeah. There's nothing, absolutely nothing they can do. So for someone like myself that just sees this, it's just like, oh, okay,
just waiting to see how it plays out.
Just play,
right,
right, and then do what you just mentioned. Go in community, connect. My former life, I actually used to do organic grass-fed farming, and I had a business for 14 years that I did that. So I did all these things, and I was bringing community, and I was connecting with people from all political, and what I realized was like, this is what's coming into the future. Like, getting your food from a local grass-fed source, right? Because then the poop coming out the back end, we don't need to import fertilizer. It's doing it right here.
Yeah.
For us.
Right.
So we may break up in the sense of like, oh, everything instead of being corporatized and everything is like, regimented, we'll split. But that split is actually, we need that.
100%.
Yeah.
We want that to happen,
Yes.
right?
We're ready
Like,
for it.
I'm ready for
Everybody's
it. To be
ready
quite
for
honest
it.
with you, like it's crazy as it sounds. It's just that we need to then see what does it look like,
Yeah.
right, and be comfortable with like, oh,
It's
we
crazy.
need more
It's like
natural.
a breaking up with an abusive partner.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really
That's
is
exactly.
because you know this ain't working. I don't feel good here. I don't
Right.
look good here. I'm
Nothing is
not growing
working here.
here. I'm stifled.
Yeah.
That was what Spirit brought me on the way to pick you up earlier today. Was that if I don't belong, don't be long. Like
Yeah.
if you don't belong, don't be long. Don't be
Oh,
in
I
that
love
long.
that. I love
I
that.
You know,
Isn't
it's
that
crazy
great?
because I also got the visual of roots growing, outgrowing its environment, and all the weeds around it stifling it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if you
Need
know you
somebody
don't
new.
belong in an environment, and every single person plays such an important role because frequency is real.
Yes.
Like I said, I know y'all know you can walk into a room, especially if you grew up in an abusive house. You can walk up in a room and you
feel
know
the energy of
that
everyone
you gotta be
around
quiet.
Yeah.
You gotta be quiet. You need to just go
Right.
straight to your room, whatever it is. You know, you can
Correct.
feel
That
energies.
shift in the
And the cleaner you are of fasting and really being on your health and being clear minded body and soul allows that to be even stronger. Which
I
is
think that's what
our-
makes it so hard for us is
Yeah.
everyone's full of poison.
Are you saying there's going to be a civil war? You
What I
saying
think
we're
so.
going to split?
I'm saying that.
Like,
When,
what are
when
you
do they
talking
stop
about?
paying my rent?
What I'm thinking, I think. All right, I'll give you a perfect example. Florida last year, and the law goes into effect, I think July 1st or 2nd. They made gold and silver. They legalized it to be taken as currency.
Oh,
So,
Really?
Yeah, they did. They passed
Why
a law
is this
last
not
year.
like widespread information?
I follow gold and silver, so I pay attention to that. That's why.
But why is that important?
Well, really important because they know something. They know that
Yeah.
the monetary system that we have today
Collapsing.
Is
is
about to-
collapsing.
Wow.
So they're anticipating that. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. Like when you see that, you're like, oh, someone knows
So
something.
we should start stockpiling
I'm
gold
so-
and
so gold,
silver.
silver, or
or
stockpile-
like
yes.
that's why the what's the cyber coins called
Bitcoins.
like Bitcoin. That's why
Now,
that's
is that
going
going to stay a thing though?
You know
Because
what?
that I've always felt like the minute the grid goes down or the minute that's
I'm not
gone.
a Bitcoin person.
I mean, I cashed out.
Listen,
If you cash in before it's too
I
late.
would just say I would cash in before. You know what it's like. It's kind of like I remember the .com era. I'm sure you probably do as well. You guys not as much, but here's why I bring that up. The .com promised so many things. I can remember back in '97. The stuff that we do today, take for granted, Uber, get my food,
Yeah.
what's the name going, or bring my stuff in, all that was promised back then, it busted because it was too much ahead of its time. It wasn't ready, right?
Oh yeah.
Bitcoin is kind of like that. Like it's going to bust, but then elements of that are going to be needed to resurrect a new economy, but it's going to be much more friendly. It's not going to be this kind of like only certain people have it. It really is going to be more egalitarian along the matriarchal way of the circle of connected
Feels
people.
like we're gonna go through like the Hunger Games first.
Thank you.
And then come out.
and come out the other side.
the other
So
Yeah.
I need to buy more guns.
So you
I
might-
mean, go ahead, Phil.
think
you
so.
need to have more food.
I've been,
you need to-
I've been
yeah.
talking about going to the. We need to be
in community.
in community.
Yeah.
100%.
I would say,
that
yeah.
is the most
Hence the buying
important
the
thing.
land and like feeling like I need to have a homestead.
Yeah,
I would- yes,
everyone's like that's been a vision of mine since I was 4 years old.
I'm just saying, yeah.
And now it's like to see people actively doing it. I have my girl Deanna. Hey, sister Deanna. I know you're gonna see it at some point. She's out in Arizona.
Yes.
Bad. Oh, this girl's so bad.
So-
Done bought like 20 acres already or something. It's got
I'm
people
ready.
out there like
So
half an
smart.
acre is like
Yes.
$1,500. It's not developed.
wow.
It's sacred land.
Yes.
I do have
Wow.
another question.
Yes,
What's up?
yeah.
So let's say we are living in this rat race that we are now
Right.
in the city. According to astrology or your charts, how do we even get out of that if we want to better our lives for that?
This is what is the central issue, right? Like people who are in the city and really are feeling called, and I think this is a part of what it is. People are going to feel called to do what you said. Oh, I've been feeling, I want, like, and that's what needs to happen now. As you know,
It's
change
kind of like when the
Go ahead.
acupuncture thing, like when the medicine said, okay, let's go to this. It was like, okay, this ain't working. This ain't working. This ain't working.
Let's try this.
Let's do this. You know what I mean? And it's
we might as well
coming
do
to
this
that
one
point.
because it's not. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
you often know that change is forced on people. So there's those of us who can like, oh, okay, I want to do this because and I'm moving that direction. And then this also happens where like we're forced to it because of external circumstances, and then we're like, oh, I guess I'm doing this now.
Yeah, that's called a tower moment. We call it a tower
Okay,
moment
well,
because
that's where we're going through it.
if you intuitively know that you don't belong and you be sitting there too long, spirit gonna move you. Spirit's gonna say, okay, look, this is not
working
for
for you
you.
more.
And it's gonna all the crumbles are gonna come down. You're gonna get sick. You're gonna lose your house. There's gonna be a divorce. There's gonna be a death. There's gonna be things like that happen. And a lot of people go, but why God? And it's not God.
Yeah.
God is not. You're not. It doesn't
No,
matter
it's not.
how good or bad of a person you're in. It is just the cycles of life. There's an ebb and a flow to everything. And if you outgrow a space and your soul is
That's
stuck
it.
and
That's
you're
it.
not doing what you're intended, because your soul decided to come here and do some shit.
Yes.
You like it. We didn't just come here all willy
It's
nilly.
interesting that people assume that God knows everything that's going to happen before it happens, right? Everything's already set in motion the way it's supposed to be, and that really makes me think about the way that the planets orbit around each other. And when you look at that spiral flying through the air,
Yes, beautiful.
it's like God just threw some marbles down and was like, they're just gonna do their thing for a while,
Right,
and
figure it out.
What happens is what happens.
I'm
and
giving
it's-
you the blueprint, but you gotta
Yeah.
figure. You know what I mean? And
literally
so
that's it.
it's-
Like you're. If
Yeah.
with astrology you
Yes.
have the blueprint,
Exactly.
which is so fascinating.
And there's still consciousness involved in it. There's still purposefulness in it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead
All
and do that.
right.
Yeah.
So I pulled this a little earlier. It's the Four of Swords. Okay. I don't know if we can actually like see this or not. Can you hold that closer to the camera? Oh, that way. I'm going the whole wrong way. I'm going towards the TV.
There it is. Okay.
That's funny. All right. Thank you.
Vanna White over there.
All right. She really does kill
She's
that
much
role
better than
too.
Vanna White.
Four of Swords.
Believe it.
I need some Vanna White money.
Okay, no, we're not in need because that's lack.
Yes,
That's the
yes,
opposite
yes.
energy we want to put out. Stillness.
I'll still take it.
Still, absolutely, you'll take it. It's
Yes.
yours. It's already guided
Yes.
to you. Stillness, mental power. Though threatening swords loom above, the lamb sits in stillness without fear. The Four of Swords says it's time to look inward and find the mental power to cope with the pressures. It's important to rest, seek meditation, or find literature that focuses on ways to quiet the mind. Take this time to recuperate and move inward before those swords strike. Like,
That
it
sounds
really
about
is
right.
all. We are regathering. We are re-gearing up. We are going, okay, wait a minute. Now that we see these truths, now that we have this
Yes.
people who have had it on their soul to dive into this stuff and then educate others about it. Like, we are in that space of recreating and really co-creating new earth is what we call it. There's a whole different space and energy.
Yeah.
So, it's coming. Now, is there a set way forward? No. But there's nothing to be afraid of. As long as everybody follows their intuition
Correct.
and keeps showing up in love and light. And get ready to put your boots on if we need
I
to.
know,
Correct.
it's
Correct.
interesting because I feel like
Correct.
my biggest takeaway from this is buy some land
Yes.
and stock up on gold and silver.
And guns.
And guns.
And guns. We
in the
are
family.
America. We might as well do it.
We need part
Wait,
of
so
that.
I'm
yes.
curious to see what your thoughts are on this alien phenomenon.
Sure.
And obviously, I feel like it's not a phenomenon. It's always been a thing, but all of a sudden, they're choosing to disclose. But are they here to help us, to save us? Like, what's going on?
I have a love-hate relationship with the UFO phenomenon. I have seen a UFO, but it's not just me. Back in 1998, there was, if you look up what's called the Phoenix Lights, that was something. That was a real thing. I was out studying acupuncture at the time. I was at my mentor's house. We ended the class for the day. We go out about 9:30 at night. And I'm just looking up. We're all looking up, and all of a sudden we see like these lights here, but way off in the distance in a V pattern, like perfect circular.
Wow.
And it just kind of, and we're like, oh, okay, whatever. Then we come back, and we're like, wait, what are those? Quiet. You don't hear a thing, and it literally passes off over us for an hour. The next day, if you can look up on Wikipedia. The next day, so many people had called, said, "Listen, we saw this." Like it was millions of people. It wasn't just like,
Yeah,
right?
right.
They came up to try to kind of poo-poo it and be like, because they came up dressed up like as the press speaker for the governor of Arizona at the time, came like an alien, whatever. It was some weird, funny stuff to put it down, right?
Yeah.
So my thing with that is like, I've seen it. So two thoughts on that. One, I believe part of that is actually us meaning humans, military. who have this technology they've been knowing,
Yeah.
right? So you internet came out whatever in 1990. They were actually using it for back in 1960s.
Yep.
Right. So it's not a stretch that we could actually be these actual people.
Yeah.
The reason I'm concerned about that is because, and I say this joke all the time, if a white-haired, blonde-eyed Jesus comes down,
Right. Manufactured.
maybe we need to reconsider what's really happening, because they can do the technology to fool us now.
Oh yeah,
They
they
can-
got the what is that called where they put
holograms?
yes,
The
like
holographic thing over you, and you can
Ooh.
actually
Well, I've been
put things
waiting
in
for
your
like
head.
a false flag
And
for
even-
a while now.
Isn't
Bingo.
that
Like-
Project Bluebeam? Isn't that what?
Yes,
It-
blue beam. That's what I'm
That's
talking
it.
about.
They can
Yeah.
beam stuff into your brains and,
Yeah.
and thoughts and all,
Wild.
like that. That actually exists.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I really don't trust it, because I'm like, on one hand, it could just be them as part of this overall structure to like make a false flag to be like, oh look, Jesus came back. Nope, you got to follow me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Like now, if he became black, now I'd be like, okay, well, maybe like, okay. That makes more sense. I may have to like be really, but so long story short, so I think that there is a actually real UFO phenomenon, and they are now going disclosing it, or attempting to almost as a way to distract from what's really going
Yeah,
on.
that's
So-
definitely.
right,
They're
so-
using it for that for sure.
Right, so it's like these two things are competing in my brain. Like, okay, which one?
Because
only-
it's quite possible that other beings exist in
Oh
our
no,
universe. Like,
without
absolutely.
that,
You know what I
like
mean?
I've always absolutely, yeah, I've
The
always
idea
believed
that they're an evolution of just us as humans,
And
well
maybe
into
us
the
coming back.
future.
And that's one that
That's
I've
got me-
I've really got caught up on, because
And that's
I mean, when you think
supposedly
about
connected
it,
to all those scientists going missing.
when you think about it, our children that are coming in autistic, okay, it's not what people think it is.
I agree.
Autism is a sensory
Sure.
quote unquote disorder. Okay, being a spiritual being, you're nothing but senses.
Yes.
It's just energy. And guess what? You don't need to talk. Most autistic kids, not most, but a great amount don't. They're nonverbal for a very long time, and a lot of times forever. Think about this. Anytime they show the grays, the aliens and stuff, they're not talking.
Right.
They don't got ears. They just got big old eyes, and it's telepathy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's what's
imagine
going on,
evolved, evolved us. We've decided to get the heck off this planet because fuck these people. You know what I mean? And we're time traveling
Yeah.
until it's the right time,
To come back,
energetically, cosmically, to come and aid
Yeah.
in the
yes.
revolution.
Yeah.
That's kind of my guess.
It's very possible, and so I hold out hope for that, because it's like at the same time I'm like you, I'm false. Like it's not beyond them to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course
It's not beyond, especially if they've prepped us with the second coming
Yep.
and that like
Yep.
you
Yep.
know what I'm saying. So that's why I'm always like, I've been again in this kind of stuff since the 90s. Like when I was 20 years old, like reading this kind of stuff. So seeing it now, like 30 some odd years
That's
later,
crazy, isn't it?
I've been waiting for some of this stuff for this long, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
at some
yeah.
point, like, okay, maybe, and then you do see the people that there used to be a guy named called General Ed Dames, and his big thing was remote viewing. Apparently, he did this as part of the military, and it's a real thing. There's no
yeah,
doubt. But the
100%.
problem with him was that there was always a kill shot that was going to come from the soul flare that was going to wipe out everything. Yeah, after the second time, I'm like, yeah, maybe it's just a grift.
Maybe a little, right.
Right, maybe I need to
and
like
just like in religion, spirituality is all of the different things. There are people who
Yes.
know a certain level of things,
And
and,
they-
then they take it to manipulate, and they take it. So
correct.
always
And
listen to your own
when you
intuition.
see it, when you see it for 30 years, and
Yeah.
you just see certain things, and so I was vegan vegetarian back when I was in my mid 20s.
Same here,
Right? And so it harmed my health.
Yeah.
I got a thyroid condition after 7 years of it.
Interesting.
That's actually what got me to acupuncture school.
You know what's crazy?
Yes.
I'm the only one in my family without a thyroid or a diabetic issue, and I've been vegetarian most of my adult life. So it's interesting that you say that. We'll have to talk more about that.
Yeah.
Being a vegetarian caused the health issues.
The veganism did.
Veganism.
The veganism.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Right, because back then it was, and
There's
just
you
not today.
can't find anything then. Everything was
It was
meat.
tofu.
I mean,
it
like,
was soy. This. It was
soy.
all the fake
Yeah,
foods.
yeah.
Destroyed my thyroid. I went to acupuncture school. That basically fixed it, and so I went back to
Wow.
eating meat. But then I wanted grass-fed stuff, so that's what so that's how I got into the whole farming grass-fed
So
stuff.
it's like me. I'll eat the animals if we
If I
actually
know
were
where it's coming
providing
from.
them, and for me, it's providing them with a life that they deserve as well, and actually honoring the sacrifice of another
Exactly.
living being.
Correct.
But yeah,
because that's how it's. We've always done that as humans. up until
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 colonization,
recently.
and then all of a sudden
Right.
we decided that
Put
we
them
were
on a lot,
superior,
feedlots.
and then right, isn't it crazy though
It's all
that
the same
that this
approach.
particular this particular mindset, the ego,
Yes.
it was the egoic,
Yes.
decided that having domain over all meant to
Yeah.
kill, rape, and pillage.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
And then
It is
and then you
insane.
had the right to do that.
Right,
Like,
absolutely, because
of
we're
course,
superior.
I'm
Like, that's
more
great. I
powerful.
still to this
I'm still
day,
more
people look
powerful.
at me crazy when I'm like, I don't want to eat animals. Like, I just feel a connection with them. I don't want to eat them.
I
Like,
love steak so
No,
much.
girl, I'm not sitting here
I'm
saying
having
I
me
don't
some steak.
love.
I'm having me some steak as
I
well.
listen.
but yeah. No, I know. what
Put
you
me
mean.
on my
Yes,
monk
yes.
status. I'm cool with it because it takes discipline. It does. But since I was a kid and I used to get like beat into submission to eat meat. You know what I mean? I mean, my parents literally were like, "You gonna eat or you getting your ass beat." Like one or the
Wow.
other. And I'm like, once I found out that meat were animals, I was like, I don't want it. Like,
Well,
it broke my
nowadays,
heart.
like you don't even know if what you're eating is even real
That's
meat.
100%
Well, that's the
true,
other
and
part
that's
too.
the other aspect of
Yeah,
it
there we go.
between
Artificiality.
the steroids that we pump in them, the way
Yes.
they're kept, their anxiety level alone. Forget about the antibiotics and stuff. But let's talk about that because why do you think people are so resistant to antibiotics? And MRSA took a rise, and I mean it's all lined up to our environment and how we're eating.
Yeah.
And which is why
100%.
we need to go back to that regenerative agricultural model. And that agricultural model also fits the way that we need to be living for what's coming, right?
Yeah.
Because we are going to, if we're going to break up these feedlots and put these cows back on the field, Florida's a perfect spot for that because we got that sun year round. We got food for them year round. We don't have to bring in any inputs. It's like constantly right there. So part of what's going to happen over these that is part of the change. And so, I think it will be kind of quote unquote revolution, right? Because
Yep.
we had
It's
one
really interesting.
250 years ago.
Yep.
Now, I
We're
wonder
about to go
who's
back to
gonna
that period
be- and
now.
It's crazy.
I wonder
Right,
who are the
about to
people
be
that are
the-
going to lead this revolution because I love
Yeah.
my children, but they have the survival skills of a thermos.
Right.
So like, I don't know if they're going to be the
They're gonna be ready
ones.
for- well,
Yeah, thermos is kind of durable and resilient. I'm just
they are
saying.
actually.
so-
Right, right, right. That's
That's
how
a
you
good
do that. They are
point.
really right. Well, so the way I think about that is like, when we don't know what we're capable of until that pressure and stress comes,
Yeah.
and it pulls
do or
us.
die.
It's do or die, and we come out. And I think more people are going to be surprised at the resiliency of overcome that.
Yeah.
Even because it doesn't seem that way, right? But circumstances can change real quick, and people are like, "Wait, I need to do what?" And we can, even if it's just temporary.
Can this
We're gonna
happen
do that.
after the release of GTA 6?
When is that released?
December 18th or November 18th?
no,
I think
no,
you're
we're
right.
good,
You're
we're
right.
good,
You're
we're
gonna be
good,
able to chill
we're
with
good,
that for a
we're
little while.
good.
And
20
just because
2030
and
is what
just
I'm
because
thinking.
we're talking about going back Amish doesn't mean we have to get rid of electricity. It doesn't mean we
Exactly.
have to get rid of technology. And it doesn't mean we have to
Exactly.
completely
Yes.
erase what we've built. We just need to be using it in
Yes.
the correct ways.
I agree with you. This thing about frequency, I have a really good friend of mine, a colleague. She's very EMF sensitive, right? Yeah, all this very real. When I go to dinner, I don't bring
EMF,
my phone.
EMF?
Electromagnetic frequency, Wi-Fi. Kind of what we're
What
doing.
is the
my son is like
the
that.
reaction that she gets?
Well, not just her, a lot of
Overwhelmed,
people.
yeah,
It's
overwhelmed.
the nervous system short circuits to
wow.
where
My son is like that.
That's why that's what I was bringing
Well,
about autistic
and
children.
I
Thank you.
think it's
That wrapped it right
interesting
back
with
around.
autistic children that have the higher needs like your son does. I really do wonder if it is the frequencies, not only in all of our technology, but the foods, everything that
All
is
overlined.
fucking them up.
Because I can hear,
essentially.
like, if I look on
Remember
his ring,
Go ahead.
if I look on his ring camera, I can hear noises
Yeah.
that I can't hear if I'm just sitting in the room.
Uh-huh.
And like
Yes.
sometimes, like he'll just stand and walk around, like
It's
like
too much for
somebody's
his
yelling
nervous
at him or
system.
something.
Yeah.
So
Remember
I'm
I
like,
asked you how he behaves when the power's all out?
Yeah.
When there's no power at all.
he's just chill.
He's calm.
Yeah.
That's so
Me
interesting.
too. Because
And how-
there's not the electricity humming.
Yeah.
There's not all those stuff that was
and at the
constantly moving.
beach, my son was like a different person at the beach. He was the most calm.
Yes.
Like we've never seen him before when in just a normal life. It's wild.
And ley lines
Yes.
are a real thing too. We'll go
Yes.
into that another
We're
time
going
as well.
The
But-
Earth acupuncture points, meridians.
Yeah, yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's so much to talk about. And that's
interesting.
and the
Sure.
more you know, the more we're able to move around as tribes and actually really do this because it's happening.
Listen, it's happening.
We are at the forefront. We
We're-
100% are the leaders.
Like it's gonna happen. It's happening right now. Quick update. Uranus. Every time Uranus is moved into the United States chart, the United States chart, you see we have Uranus. When the United States was born, it had Uranus and Mars in in Gemini, right? And Uranus is a planet of revolution, sudden, unexpected, the yearning for freedom, right? Kind of like America.
Right.
Mars is a planet of war, fighting, assertiveness. So when they both come together, right? This is, think about context. A British colony of these people way across the pond, right? Great Britain is like, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. The chance that would be like Cuba breaking away and fighting and defeating the United States today. That's what it's like. That's what it was like. So the chances of that happening was like next to nil,
Right.
and yet it still happened. One, because it was meant to, right?
Right.
But that's how big of a change it was for these guys that were like, yeah, we're doing this. It was crazy. Like they were going to lose. Like it was absolutely, it was divine that they had. So that's right. We are moving back into that. Uranus and Gemini, every time it has transit is when a planet goes back to position it was. It happens every 84 years. The first time was American Revolution, which is what that was. 84 years later was the Civil War. 84 years later after that, 1941. 40 years later after 1941 is 2026.
That is insane.
Pattern reckoning.
That is insane.
7 years. That's how long it is. So we have started this shift. It goes until 2032. We are now in it, ladies and gentlemen. We are in it.
So we're in it. Yeah. So
We're
it
in it.
kind of like answers the question of like, is it going to get worse? Yeah, it's going to get worse.
So you know what's really cool is seeing someone like yourself who is like this back when I'm like 20 something like that, thinking about what this could be like, right? Now I'm like, I'm living it. I'm like, wow, okay. I meet someone like you who has kids who are trying to live in this world, like you with this, right? Like this is what this is, right? Like what was taught back then is what we're seeing unfolding, and the shifts that we're looking to make and the choices that we will be needing to make. We need that card.
that is-
That's the card we need. Confirmation. Confirmation.
Thank you for that.
Love me a good
That
jump
was funny.
card.
Right. That's what I need. The card's like, okay, let me just make let me
Sure,
real
I
clear.
might have to let you read this. It came right to you.
So this is this is it, and so we have to then just adjust, follow your intuition, build community. Like that's like. And don't worry if you're not wanting to. Trust me, it'll push you to do it.
Yeah, we're gonna be forced to do
We're
it.
forced to
And
do it.
there's
Like, it's
no
not even
there's
like-
everyone's like hoping, oh, you know, maybe he's gonna get impeached, he's gonna get locked up, everything's gonna be okay. Obama's gonna come back. Like, I don't know.
No, that's not. We are
Are we
moving
looking
forward.
at advanced 2028?
Well, and so here's the other thing:
Good
the
question.
whole
Good.
political system
Yeah.
is not
Yeah.
going to function.
Yeah, on the other
the way
side
it
of
is.
yeah, on
Yeah,
both
no
sides,
matter
right?
There's
what.
no right. The government is not on anybody's side
That's how
but their pockets. There are people just like officers, just like doctors, just like teachers. There are people who put themselves in those positions that mean well, and they want to
Absolutely.
use their power in
Correct.
those ways.
Correct.
And I do believe that a lot of
with
people
them.
who are in those positions will also be helping this change
Yeah.
happen.
Right.
But there's no way that we're going to keep the structure that we have still.
No. It's
Right.
so corrupt. It's so the things that we found out just with these like Epstein files and
Oh
how
my
they
goodness.
run so
Deep.
deep.
Yes.
It's it all has to burn. It has to all burn down.
So how do I use astrology to make money in my business?
Yeah, you can make it. You can absolutely use it to make money if
I
that's
bet
a
you could
proclivity.
do stocks and like
There is financial
That's what,
astrology.
that's what he
Yes,
does.
That's what I do. I
He
do
has a
financial astrology.
Yeah, he does a
Yeah.
program with that.
see that's what you need to have on TikTok and all these people that are all
Oh,
like
really?
about
That's a-
watching their
yeah.
stocks and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
that's a big part.
that would blow up.
But
Yeah,
the truth
yeah.
is, money is a great tool and it's a great
Yeah,
commodity,
it
but
is.
it's not going to be the most important thing moving forward. It's not.
Well, the
Like,
currency will be different. Like
Yeah.
by that meaning, the currency it'll be a currency of connection.
Yes.
Right. Like
Yes.
that's literally going to be the
Right.
currency. Like, what can I do for you? And I mean, it's kind of, but it's gonna seemingly like a barter, but it's gonna be way
But it's
much more
not.
sophisticated than
Correct.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the connection will be a currency.
Correct.
Right.
I
Community will
love
be a
that. That's
currency.
a great
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
connection.
Your
would be the
energy
currency.
exchange.
Yeah.
Your energy exchange is your currency.
I love
That's what
that.
you said.
Yeah.
So this card says nurturing. Can I cut you off?
No, please, no, not at all.
It says nurturing. Look at that.
I love that.
Did you see that?
That's a card. Yeah. Oh, see, this is
That's a powerful card,
That's
right?
beautiful.
This is coming
Oh.
from the Power Deck. Okay, this is a really amazing. Shout out to Amy and Jackie for gifting me this. This is an amazing, amazing deck, and
it
this
say?
is the number 8 card, nurturing. We are the only ones who can heal ourselves, sometimes with assistance, sometimes without. Our energy or chakra system corresponds to the energy flow from the earth. If you listen and feel, the earth will heal you as you heal her. With the nurturing force of timeless give and take, Prayer enables you to take power out of the mind and place it in the hands of the deities of the earth and sky. Try to see through the mirage of social barriers that cloud the eyes of women and men the world over, excuse me. Nurture your dreams. Act in your dreams as you want to act. Find the guarded kivas, K-I-V-A-S, kivas, in sacred places where you have hidden your heart and nurture your spirit. Like, we're asking how things change, y'all. Like,
That's
it's
like
That's
literally
a card that literally
everything.
jumped out.
out.
The card just
Right.
jumped
Like,
out.
you can't make it up, you
Do I
know?
need to light a candle or something?
Yeah, that's what needs. Listen, this is the divine feminine, right? Like this is the other stuff coming through.
Kumbaya. Listen, one of the
It's
songs that
going
have
in.
always been prevalent to me is "Lean on Me
Yes. Yep.
When
Yep.
You're Not Strong."
That's the song. That's
Come
the
on,
song.
I know y'all know
That's
it. Wait, you know this song.
Is that,
There you go.
Is that Juice World?
I'll help you carry on.
Is that DMX?
For
Is that DMX?
it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Okay, see what I'm talking about? Like,
That's
that's
Lil
the
Yachty,
energy
right?
there.
Was
That's
that?
the Yachty.
That's
The
Lil
Yachty.
Well, and so you're an herbalist as well, so I
Yes,
find
yeah.
that very interesting because,
Right.
like, both of us were very into
Sure.
the herbs and the earth and all of
Yeah.
that, especially when it comes to holistic
We've
healing.
been getting him more
and-
interested in it too.
Good.
Yeah, like,
Good.
well, his wife is very into that with the teas
is
and
she?
all of that stuff. Like,
Good.
yeah, I'm very into the teas and things, but I think it is going to be really important for people to start growing their own
Yeah.
herbs, growing their own foods. Like,
Right, you
all of
are a
that.
hot commodity. You're,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Community,
really,
I'm-
you seriously.
that'll be
you
how
are
I pay
needed
for
in the
things.
community. Right,
People
for
are
real, for
starting
real.
to seek for these answers
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the information that we're getting isn't working for anybody. It's like we're hearing a bunch of nonsense and it's not
Right.
helping. So
Yeah.
people want to know like something real.
Listen, what got me, real quick biography of me or my origin story, it'll be real quick. I was your typical overachiever in high school. I was homecoming king, queen,
Queen, okay.
Way back then, yeah,
Hey, we
homecoming king, class president. Like I was that guy. Like I enjoyed it. I absolutely loved my high school experience. My senior year, for some reason, I felt like someone hit the motivation switch, just like flicked it off.
Oh, no.
Don't know what happened. Now I actually kind of do have an idea what it was, but vaccines. Anyway, let's not get started with
All
that.
right, let's go.
Anyway, but so I ended up getting into college. Only applied to one school, got in. That's how unmotivated I was. I knew I was better 2 years before. Right. Like I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, how can't, and all I want to do was just study and just barely get by in my class because I just wanted to read. And I realized that I need to get back to it. So I started doing herbs. Like my class, they called the police out of my room because they were like smelling something that was stopping the whole tower where I was staying at, right?
Yeah,
and they were
I
like,
love
"What's
that.
that smell?" Like I'm in my room, literally making a bag of herbal teas.
Oh my
Of
God.
herbal stuff, and
Marijuana.
it stunk up the
Get-
whole tower, and I got in
That's
trouble.
hilarious.
That was me, right? So I've been into. Long story short. That's how I got into this, right? I got into it because I wanted to heal myself because I knew I was better.
Yeah.
And I was like, something's wrong. Like, I knew what's going on. And so that impetus to want to find solutions was what drove me into natural health. It wasn't
Yeah.
like I got there because I was going to be a corporate lawyer. I was going to make a
Wow.
partner by
what's interesting?
25. That was my job.
You misspoke and called yourself a queen,
Queen,
but
yes.
that was you and your feminine knowing and your intuition of
Exactly.
being like, hey, this is the truth.
That-
and
Yeah.
you know,
Well, that feminine part of me comes from the fact that my grandmother and my great grandmother from Haiti were like the village healers.
oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
So I was
beautiful.
channeling
Oh, yeah.
that inner feminine
Yeah.
connected to them. And I didn't find that out until my mom passed in 21. She told me like back in 2019, 2020. Like
wow.
I found out
Wow.
literally.
And isn't that cool?
And
though?
I was-
I like it like that
That's
because
cool.
it's like
I wish I'd known though.
No,
I wish I'd known.
Well, I guess for,
Yeah,
for me, I like
yeah,
the surprise of like, oh, I did know.
I did know, right?
You did know.
Yeah, I did know. Yeah,
But you
I
didn't
did.
consciously
But
know.
you were
Correct.
connected
But I was
to
being
it.
pulled in that
And
direction
then-
towards
Yeah.
herbs,
Right.
towards that thing.
Right.
And I always say that I always run a lot of feminine energy in that balanced way because that's why people's like, well, I have no problems with my masculinity. I have no problem with my femininity.
Yeah,
right?
those who are
Because-
truly balanced, they're not.
Right,
they're
it's not an issue. Like
Right.
I'm a man, but I
don't need to
I'm
beat
very
my chest
intuitive.
to
I
prove
take-
that,
That's what
buddy.
it should be. That is
Yes.
honestly what
That's what
women
it's
want.
meant to be.
Correct.
100%.
Is that balance?
It is that it is that balance. So herbs has been like one of my original loves, right? Like that's of course I did the Western herbs first. So yeah, people need to have just some basic herbs and understanding of how they work.
Yeah.
And I've tried so many different herbs over my last 30 years. Like and so I do tell people that it is good to know, and similar to like you again, the people who are just grifting on situations or versus like I've seen it all. So
Yeah.
I'm like one of those people like I'm like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, they're just oh no,
There's
that's actually
always
legit.
some
Right,
new
right.
like miracle herb that's gonna
That's
solve
gonna
all of
solve
your
all your
problems.
problems.
And
whatever.
that's
But-
again the most important part is learning how to listen to your
Discernment.
own intuition 100%.
Discernment. And so but with that said, there absolutely are, I think, some key things that people need to do for to know about their health with certain basic herbals. You know, I love Tulsi, holy basil. That's that's an Ayurvedic one.
What are those good for?
That one is like a calming mind, anti-anxiety. It's what is called an adaptogenic herb, which means it allows your body to adapt to stress of any type, right? You have your chamomile, you have your ashwagandha.
better say
Those are two of my favorites.
Right? So
Yeah.
and that's what those are. There used to be something called, it used to be called Siberian ginseng. It's a Luthro, which is a version of ginseng, comes from Russia, those parts of the world. So I think there's certain ones that everyone absolutely needs to be on,
100%.
especially for the stress that we all live under.
Yeah.
Why you never
Right
talking
now.
about? Why you never talking about this stuff?
What's good for kidney health?
Yeah, why you never talking about? I've
Now you know.
I've known you for almost 15 years. You ain't never talking about
What?
this.
Well, clearly
You know I
y'all
was
had
a
other
doctor.
conversations. Y'all had, right. You knew I was a doctor. You didn't ask.
Now you can-
I was like, have you asked him questions about podcasting and how podcasting
Yes,
works?
of course. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because he knows you're the podcast doctor.
I
So
always
who
love
lacking
calling
here?
him Dr. Phil, man. I love that.
Oh, he is Dr.
Dr. Phil. I love talking about
Yeah,
it.
Dr.
That's
Phil.
why he's like
Oh
in my
my
phone. I
gosh.
said, Phil, Dr. Phil. That's in my phone.
I'm going to wrap it up with this
Please.
thought is the reason why we don't know all this stuff is because
Yes.
we've been force fed
Yes.
what keeps us sick in order to continue
Yes.
to pay big pharma, and big
Yes.
pharma's pocket
Intentionally.
government isn't 100%
I find that
intentional.
so
Absolutely.
interesting that it was very intentional.
It's hurtful. It's
Yeah.
hurtful. But these are the same people who had slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are the same people who built countries on the backs of others and
Free
you know what I mean?
Luigi.
So free
Ooh,
Luigi.
Wow,
what is it?
that's
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Man, that,
Hey,
okay.
look,
Oh wait,
for
real
real.
quick.
Yeah.
Not to
The
jump
man
on
of
that
the
one,
people.
but see this. Okay, that is Pluto in Aquarius.
Yes. Oh
that's
my
what that
gosh.
is.
I know.
Right. I mean, he's a kid of privilege. Like
Yeah.
he didn't. He wasn't bankrupted by the system. He just
Right.
knew the system was corrupt.
Yep, and we're-
right.
He's the revolution.
Right, and that. So if you want to see what's exemplified by what may be coming, unfortunately, in that sense, because obviously I'm not condoning murder and all that, obviously, but also the excesses that drove him to do that.
Yep.
That is the Pluto in Aquarius.
Yep,
That's
100%.
what we're going to be dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
And it's frustrating on one hand because it's like the system needs to change.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to change. Well, guess what? It will be forced to change.
100%.
Period.
Yep.
Like that's
Yep.
what's happening.
And at the very least, it made people who aren't paying attention go, wait, why did this kid do this? Wait,
Right.
like let me really look
and
into this a
it
little
is
bit
sad
more,
because
you
he
know?
had all the things going for him in the world, but that just shows you that he felt like this sense
passion of it.
the passion.
I
of
always
it,
used
and
to
that
say
was-
I would have been one of those girls. Like, did you know back in the Nazi days there was like a set of young women that would seduce the
Yes,
the-
I heard
the
about
Really? Tell me about
that.
that.
The
Tell me
honey
about
pot.
Oh yeah, is that what they're called? Is that why
Yeah.
you keep saying
The
honey
what?
pot?
The what?
I didn't know
the
name of-
honey pot.
Oh,
honey
I know
pot.
the term.
Yeah.
Yeah, honey pot. I didn't know it was.
They were young women who, back in Germany, decided that they were going to seduce the soldiers and take them out in the woods. And
Yep.
off
And they would get,
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I would totally be one of them.
What a way to
girls.
go.
That is hardcore. See,
I personally think more
listen.
women need to do that.
Listen,
based
dark
on the
feminine
current.
ain't nothing to play
Hardcore.
with. Dark
Listen,
feminine
I'm-
ain't nothing to play with.
listen, Kali, those women were channeling their divine Kali because
Uh-huh.
Kali
Oh, yes.
is no joke.
Yes.
Their inner black moon Lilith, no
I
joke.
love
Oh, we are
that.
so
And I feel like that's all
Hey,
coming out now.
hey,
It needs
just
to come out
saying.
more
I'm just
now.
saying.
It
The
is.
way that our
Listen.
administration is set up, I mean,
that's-
some
and I
honey
think
pots
that's-
could do some damage in
It's,
there.
I
yeah.
think it's my most frustrated thing with the whole spiritual love and light and religion, love and
Correct.
light and everything. Like, yes, we are love and light 100%, and an angel's an angel, and an angel will mess you up if you really
Yes.
want to come and play with it. Like,
Yes.
I have nothing but love and light. However, that love and light is meant to eradicate hate, and if you come with hate, I'm not gonna play your game.
Right.
I'm not gonna play your game. I will meet you
Yeah.
with protection and
Well,
all that kind of stuff.
You're defending yourself.
Out of
You're
love.
defending your family.
Out of love. It's still gonna be in love.
I
I'm
think
not
that
gonna,
is a part of the revolution too. Like
Correct.
people aren't staying quiet and passive anymore and
Correct.
just accepting that this is just the world that we live in. People
Correct.
are speaking out and saying no.
Yes.
Like it's not okay.
Yeah, no. It begins this summer. And the reason why is Pluto does something that's
I know, right? I
What's
love
that?
it.
I think we have to make a movie.
It's been said here first officially. The revolution begins this summer, people. This summer.
This summer, you'll be surprised. But it is starting
FBI,
August.
don't come knocking on my door.
Listen, I ain't got no guns, so they can't. They can
For
try.
entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only. But as someone who's just observes things, you're just like, oh, this is where we're at. So basically from August to December, January is when that energy goes in.
I kept feeling 8/8 portal for some reason.
It's shifting. It's all.
That's so interesting, and I think a few days ago was compelled with the need to move to Ocala and buy land in December. Like that, I have a goal now to do that, and it's like it's so interesting.
You're doing the right thing because you're getting out of the cities or more kind of like you were saying. Sorry,
what'd you tell me the other day? When I told you about Ocala?
Yeah,
on
on the chart. Yeah. So I was doing his astro mapping. One of the things you can do with astrology is you can map where you can live or where are favorable locations, X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And so I was looking at his relative to health conditions and stuff and saying, oh, it's along this corridor that you can find help. And he was telling me a story of how Dominic was
at UF. Shams in Gainesville.
Yeah.
It was along his health orienting line on his chart.
Yeah.
So
look at that confirmation.
Right, yeah.
See, that's crazy. That is
and it's
so cool.
Pattern recognition, like you were saying. I feel like for anybody that thinks like, oh, that's just like woo-woo bullshit.
Right.
It's literally pattern recognition.
Right.
You can't deny history.
This is why
and you're watching it. People keep talking about that, right? History repeats itself. History repeats itself.
Right.
Like it all.
And that's why they that's why they have erased the history. That's why they have erased history. Because if you are able to actually know the truth of your history, then you're not going to be fooled.
Correct.
And again, abusive relationships, you get fooled into thinking that it's something else.
That
And then
the
you
norm.
allow that lie to continue because that's what you want. That's what you're comfortable in.
Yeah.
This is what it's supposed to look like. And then once you realize, hey, this ain't working, it takes time to decide what move. What are we doing? How do we do it? Again,
that's why we need someone like you to give this information in small chunks.
Thank you
Right,
so
yeah. Thank you.
I
Very glad to help.
no, seriously, great gratitude.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I
this is
cannot thank you enough for being
fascinating.
on.
So
I appreciate it.
fascinating.
Thank you
Honestly.
too for having the
This is so
sudden,
fun.
full to let's do this. You know what I mean? And I know that Nora, you're gonna get into something else, and as far as Phil does have an event for his birthday, July 11th. Out here in Orlando. Okay, we're gonna do it big. I still gotta buy my ticket. Buy your tickets. We will link the link under here. I'll put it on Facebook. Nora's been shouting it out. Great. Yes. She's doing an amazing job pushing that out.
And the website, kidneyforphil.com.
Kidneyforphil.com. Phil is currently fighting for his life. He is actively looking for a living kidney donor. If that is you or someone you know, hit us up because it would be great. You know what I mean? Yeah. As I take shots, I gotta quit doing that. I am gonna keep fasting though. But seriously, get your tickets. The money goes to Phil and his family. He's been an amazing provider for his family.
And the donor.
And the donor as well. Really, I did not know that.
Yeah, because they got to take off work and do all that stuff too.
Okay, so we're raising money to help the donor with the that is dope shit. That is dope. Cool. Yeah. I love that. Okay, so for real, come on out July 11th. We'll post the flyer, post the information. Get your tickets now so that we're going to hang out. We're going to have music, right?
Yes, comedy.
Comedy.
As well. Yeah.
We're there, so of course it's going to be funny.
And it's a birthday party.
And it's going to be a party.
We're
going to
so much
celebrate
fun.
Phil, you deserve to be celebrated on Father's Day and every other day. Your birthday, all the days. Seriously, you're an amazing human being. Absolutely. This world needs your light, and you going to stay here. You ain't going nowhere.
The revolution needs you.
100%.
Well, I got guns, so I'm good.
He's ready.
Y'all, thank you for tuning in. Feel free to share this, subscribe, do all the things. I definitely would love to have you back as often as humanly possible.
How can we reach you though? How can we get a hold of you?
If you want the audience
astrology, my astrology services, deep dive with drsteve.com, spelled out just as it sounds, deep dive with drsteve.com.
Is it DOCTOR or is it just DR?
DR.
Okay.
Deep dive drsteve.com.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are you on any social media platforms?
Not yet. We're working on YouTube.
Yeah, we got a whole thing.
Get on there. There's a huge audience that is waiting for you.
He's gonna blow up on TikTok.
100%.
This is amazing information.
I may need some of your help to figure that out.
We right here, man. We're part of you're part of the tribe. You know what I mean? Like there's no such thing as coincidence, as you know.
Absolutely.
And this aligned exactly as it's meant to. And I'm grateful for spirit.
Honored to be here.
Oh, absolutely. This has been wonderful. You guys stay blessed. stay calm, stay in center. Like, it is so important for you right now to not freak out, to just stay level headed, be in that high frequency, and gather your people, gather your resources. Make sure we're looking out for each other in this time. Okay, much love and light. Namaste.
Wait, what are you doing? What is that?
Namaste. It's
Wu-Tang?
the hands
Heart
over the
shaking.
wisdom.